Hey all, I want to make sure that doesn't seem to... Hang on a minute. Hey, yeah, what's up people? How we doing? Wanted to talk about a few things that have interested me lately. I've been using ChatGPT, funny enough, like about 150 odd million other people around the world on a daily basis, to just run a few interesting data points and numbers by its Bayesian calculator, because I've always been interested in the potential for the astrotheological roots of the earliest gospel. That would be Mark, the most primitive gospel, certainly, and that's of course Mark. Yeah, and a number of different important foundational links within astronomy and astrology to Mark itself. Not just that, but the rest of the New Testament and even aspects of the Old Testament. So I thought I'd go through a few of them just today, pretty briefly. It's not going to be a long, video. But first of all, and I will put these. What I've done here is write a few essays with ChatGPT's help, looking at the Christian feast days, pagan replacements of these astrotheological ritual days and so on in the calendar year, and these would align really neatly with the zodiac months specifically, so starting on or around the 18th to the 21st, 22nd of every month that we know today. And we're going to find a hugely important alignment with the pagan calendar. Now, lots of people will say that, well, obviously Christians were just coming in and basically stealing these days because it was easier to kind of garner power and social control if things were left relatively similar to the way the pagans did things. We'll notice this with Halloween, we notice this with Christmas, but we still have it on Easter. We still have a lot of the pagan motifs around these Christians holidays. I mean, to this day we all know them well. But let's have a look at the solstices and equinoxes and Christian, the high Christian kind of holy days. Obviously the winter solstice aligns with the birth of Attis and so on. It was a very big, important Greek and Roman pagan holiday. It was Saturnalia for the Romans and so on. Sun's at its lowest point. It's the rebirth, the moment where the sun is reborn, if you like, on the 25th. The rebirth of, or the birth of Jesus. And then we got the vernal equinox, of course, the Easter. And we know this summer solstice, the longest day. This aligns pretty perfectly with the nativity of John the Baptist, and this is a holy day for Catholics. The autumn equinox, Michaelmas, September 29th. The autumnal equinox is Halloween, obviously, or Samhain, I think it is. In the ancient pagan, European pagan calendar. Then we have the zodiacal calibration of the liturgical calendar itself, and I think we're looking at about 10, 12. Yeah, so we can go through them. Easter, the Passion, obviously, ram, sacrificial lamb in Easter, with the Passion, of course. Taurus would be the Ascension in the Christian calendar, the day that Jesus, I think that's from Acts, rises up to heaven on the April 21st. Hang on, what's that? Sorry, I might have gotten that. Just the Ascension Day, whatever that might be. Pentecost falls on the month of Gemini. Duality, tongues, communication. John the Baptist, as we said, Cancer. It's a water sign, moon and baptism. Important in this month. Transfiguration in this is bang on the midpoint. It's I think exactly to the day. The sun is at its really cut in its most radiant month is going to be in August, or July 23rd, August 22nd. Transfiguration in the book of Mark. And remember, we're going around the year here. The Assumption of Mary is in Virgo, obviously, the virgin purity, and also the birth of Mary as well. Mary's birthday hits exactly the midpoint, the 8th, I think, of September is her birthday. The Catholic calendar happens exactly the midpoint of Virgo. Is this going to happen coincidentally? Michaelmas, Libra, balance and judgment. This is where Jesus is balanced, and the scales and the judgment happen, and he's telling all the Sanhedrin how he feels about them, giving divine pronouncements of their guilt. All Saints' Day is the martyrdom's death days, the All Saints, All Souls Day as well. So praying for all of the sinners. Exactly in Scorpio. This is where you get the Judas, especially a focus on Judas here. Sagittarius, Advent begins. Prophecy and direction. Now Christmas, again, the mountain, the goat, the humble birth. Christmas, again in Capricorn. The Epiphany is in Aquarius. Again, the Feast of the Epiphany in Lent. Well, starts in Pisces, and this is fish fasting Lent. And if I'm saying things that aren't too clear here, or seem a bit haphazard or random, let me just continue. So we have, first of all, those just to think about. So it's the 12 signs of the gospel, the 12 signs in the Gospel of Mark specifically. So very quickly, Aries, initiation, and the Lamb. Jesus begins his public ministry. Themes of newness, fire, exorcism, of course, of the unclean spirits. These are dominant in Mark 1. The Taurus, strength, the bull, contention with religious authorities, the stubborn ones, feeding, narratives, abundance, agricultural parallels. These come along in Mark 2 and 3. The twins, communication. This is specifically a multiplicity, duality. The teaching of teaching in parables here. He's teaching certain parables that link with dualism, mirroring, and so on. Sending the disciples out 2 by 2. Cancer, healing the woman with the flow of blood, and raising of Jairus' daughter. So water, the motherly signs, the feminine energy, water imagery abound in Mark 5 and 6. The Leo, the king, the sun, transfiguration. Remember, feeding of 5,000, walking on water. Peter's confession. Virgo, the virgin purity, teachings of humility, service, and purity. Jesus blesses children, warns against temptations, references to marriage and divorce here, talking about marriage and divorce in Virgo. Mark 9 and 10, Libra, balance and judgment. This is all really well laid out actually in Darlison's, what's his name? Ted Darlison's book, The Gospels on the Zodiac. It's well worth a read. I've used it quite often myself in some of my writings. The betrayal. Jesus, Libra balance, a temple weighing of the hypocritical hearts. Widow's might, the fig tree narrative in Libra. Scorpio, again, passion prediction now. Jesus' death is coming up. He's betrayed. Judas begins plotting. Dark eschatological warnings. Death imagery and symbolism. Sagittarius, the archer, truth. Jesus is struck with interrogated prophetic truth under fire. The trial scene. Aiming accusations. Yes, Sagittarius. The truth here comes out, the fire, the arrow of that pierces, that that gets to the heart of things. Aquarius, the veil is torn. Centurion's declaration, symbolic outpouring of the spirit in the water. Spirit, outpouring of spirit, giving up the ghost. The empty tomb, reference to the new age dawning, Mark 15 to 16 roughly. Pisces, ending in dreams. Spirit, the theme again of betrayal comes up again. Dream symbolism in Matthew, foot washing in John, in Pisces, where John, or the feet are in the body of the human being. The foot washing, feet are in Pisces. Foot washing with hair, Pisces, hidden knowledge. Of course, the woman is cleaning feet and so on, spiritual transformation, and the completing of the cycle in Pisces. So the gateway of Pisces again starts the new year again. But we have again just a little more on some of these things here. So the Annunciation, March 25th, Aries, right at the beginning of the solar year. The Annunciation, yeah. June 24th, John the Baptist Day. Transfiguration, August the 6th. Basically bang on the midpoint of that time. Assumption of Mary, 15th of August. Queen, suns crowned with stars, right? Also, guy goes on now. I'm not going to get through them all, but the Tetramorph. How long were we? 15 minutes. I want to get it. So Tetramorph, the symbolic animals in Ezekiel and Revelation: the lion, ox, man, and eagle. Wait a minute. Lion, ox, man, and eagle correspond to the fixed signs of the zodiac: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. These tetramorphic beasts surround the throne of God in Revelation 4:7 and are traditionally associated with the gospel authors. Now, this is extremely Gnostic shit, ladies and gents. This is the stars. This is the heavens. This is the heavenly canopy. Let's read on. Mark's zodiacal framework. The disciples mirror zodiac signs. So Peter would be Aries. Judas, whereas he's in Scorpio. Thomas is in Gemini. Doubting Thomas. Twin Thomas. The twin, right? Gemini. The tetramorph encodes cosmic structure, four corners of the heavens around the solar logos, around the center point, which is what? Polaris, pole of Aries. The pole right up there in the middle, the part of the heavens where everything else spins around, right? So these four cardinal, fixed signs, very important. They all face outwards. Additionally, the beast of Revelation 13, with 7 heads and 10 horns, may symbolically relate to the 12 signs of the zodiac, each head possibly representing a cluster of signs or epochs. The beast rises from the sea, consistent with Piscean or Aquarian aquatic symbolism, and speaks like a dragon, corresponding to the constellation of Draco encircling the pole star. Now, the great beast, of course, protects, if you like, or encircles the Most High. It's like in the Greek Minotaur in the maze and so on. Similar, like the beast protecting the layer, The blending of lion, bear, and leopard further mirrors Leo, Ursa Major, and the aquiline qualities associated with the feminine constellations. So, in the beast of Revelation, you've got that specifically there. I should go into that, yeah. So the lion, the bear, the leopard, camelopardis, right? Camel, leopard, leopardis, the bear. If you look at the beast of Revelation, it corresponds with the Leo, and they go down like stack like this from the heaven, from the Most High. So dragon, I think it's leopard, lion, bear, feet of a bear, and they all trickle down like this perfectly, as they should do. But they're in the night sky. This is an allegorical tale. The mythic parallel Hercules and the tameless man in Mark 5, the Gerasene demoniac echoes the myth of Hercules. Both are chained, dwelling among the tombs or wild terrain, and exhibit superhuman strength. This connects with the constellation of Hercules and the pole star mythology, suggesting Jesus is cast as a cosmic redeemer in line with solar heroes. What's that sign of Jesus again? The cross, the solar cross. Moses, Jesus, and the serpent Kundalini, and the sky. Jesus' analogy with Moses and the bronze serpent in John 3:14 invites cosmic symbolism. The serpent constellation, Draco spiral, towards the Polaris, representing a spiritual ascent. This parallels the Kundalini, Ida, Pingala, and so on, Shushuna, energies. Serpent rising through the chakras to enlightenment. Jesus is lifted on the cross, becoming a universal access, and Jesus within, the power within to redeem, is that energy. So it's talking about the stuff upstairs in the skies and in here as well, and the zodiac is seen and mimicked and corresponds with the parts of the body. Gemini, Cerebrum, Cerebel, bull arm here, the bullish mind and the higher mind. I'm a Libram, so I'm in the kidneys, with the balancing point of the body, basically. Kidneys, so on. Scorpio is in the that region. So again, it's so interesting because so many of these things have correspondences with the solar year, and and it just goes on and on. The evangelists obviously link with and this was known by the ancient Christians. They were happy to pair the evangelists with these animals, but they didn't tell you it was to do with the zodiac as well. Why not? I don't think there's a massive conspiracy necessarily going on here. It's just all around them, and they are simply looking around and saying, well, this kind of looks cool anyway. We like this symbolism, and the pagans like this symbolism, so why don't we just take it over? Maybe there is a conspiracy there at some point. But Matthew, Aquarian energy. Mark, Leo, fire. Luke, Taurian. John, the Scorpio and eagle. The eagle and Scorpio is by Aquila. So you see there's a reference there to that part of the heavens, but it's figurative here of the eagle or the phoenix. Again, so we see the symbolism is there, and it's not 100% completely understandable from our perspective today, but we can go back and we'll find these correlations, and they're really obvious once we get there. And at the end of the day, I won't tell you exactly how bang on this seems to be if you plug it into a Bayesian calculator, but considering all that's going on here, the probabilities are really high that there is there are correspondences here, and there's there's a coupled kind of harmony between these two great Greco-Egyptian Roman theology, and that from which Christianity sprung from. It makes complete sense. This is just a baby of the Greco-Roman world. You get obvious, much more obvious little parallels here when Jesus is saying stuff like, follow, go and find the man down in the town and follow him. He's holding a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house that he entereth in. The man holding the pitcher of water. Men holding pitchers of water weren't really things that you saw too much back in the day. That was more kind of women's, female job to do. What's going on there? The house being maybe the house that comes just after Pisces, the Piscean age. We're going backwards in the processional calendar, which runs backwards. The Great Ages, 500 odd years each, maybe. We're on that cusp now. I'll leave that with you. Peace out.